All right, so we up in here. I'm the Shock Exchange, of course, and this is Trump and the GE. This is Suge Knight out Diddy Combs and Interscope Records. As I'm sure of you aware, Sean Diddy Combs was recently arrested for things ranging from racketeering to sex trafficking to extortion to transporting women across state lines for purposes of prostitution. And he was denied bail. He's currently in a Brooklyn jail, I think the same jail that Jeffrey Epstein was located in. I think the same jail that Jeffrey Epstein's accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, is also being held in. And the New York Attorney's Office, the press conference they had last week basically said that it gave a number for people to call in, also said that if you have information, bring it now and do it quickly. So there could be more people coming with the information. There could be people afraid that they could be considered co-defendants, so maybe it'd be better to be considered a cooperating witness than be a co-defendant. There are probably people cooperating with the feds right now. That I think the complaint against Diddy from the New York Attorney's Office was based on complaints from an artist named Little Rod, Cassie, Diddy's former girlfriend, maybe other people. So, but Diddy was the only one named in the complaint. So that could imply that other people are already cooperating against Diddy. It's because Little Rod and Cassie named lots of people. And none of those people were named in the New York Attorney's Office complaint against Diddy, the RICO complaint. So people could already potentially be cooperating against Diddy. A lady came out yesterday. I think her name was Thalia Grace or Thalia. I can't think of her last name. But a lady came out and said that Diddy sexually, and another gentleman sexually assaulted her over a decade ago, and they have a tape and they were distributing the tape. So she's embarrassed for her and her boyfriend, so she's suing for a sexual assault. There could be other cases coming out, and she's being represented by Gloria Allred, so which seems to be very serious. She seems to be a very serious individual, and she seems to like to win. I'll leave it at that. She seems very dogged and very serious. So Chris Cuomo, who used to be on, I think he used to be on CNN. Now he's on News Nation. He still has contacts from corporate contacts. He still has a gravitas to bringing guests who normal people can't bring in. So he has Suge Knight, the former CEO of Death Row Records, who has had business dealings with Sean Combs in the past. He's a record executive. He knows how the industry works. He knows Sean Combs pretty well and other artists pretty well throughout the industry. So he had a lot to say about Mr. Combs' situation. And he gave some other information I wasn't necessarily expecting. So I'm going to try to share my screen. Here goes.
Okay, good. Okay, but you had a guy named Tubby, used to work for Interscope. This guy's job was to bring underage girls and girls to have sex with employees and other artists, to the point where his friend got caught up with the same thing. How they raided Puppy House for sex trafficking, they raided his friend's house for sex trafficking.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
He never was an artist.
Sure. Can you say something? Can you say something
positive? When you look at the whole situation,
because you only got.
Everything I'm saying is positive. And I got to have him call right back.
All right, Suge, you call back. Do you think? Do you think that Diddy?
He can do so.
Do you think Diddy knows enough that it's a very delicate balance that maybe investigators will want to know these other names and greatly reduce his exposure to criminality, to time, versus what people would do to keep him quiet?
Number one, I've been knowing him a long time, and we was friends. We're not enemies, but we were friends. He's not a dummy, so he's smart enough to work his magic. On top of that, this man right here, he been involved with the FBI and most of his career. He got powerful people. One of his partners who started his company with drug money, President Obama, got him out of prison. So it's not like she don't have no moves. So I don't think nobody should just count him out. I don't think he gonna lay down and just crawl in the corner and die. He probably going through a lot of shit right now because he probably going through a lot of withdrawals for the drugs. But the industry got him on drugs. My artist, one of the worst mistakes I could have made was protecting my artist is doing a deal at Interscope. When my artist used to pull up in valet, the Murdoch building, they'd get out, they'd smell like weed. When they clothes smell like weed. When they made it to any office, it would smell like weed. Those guys, for my artists, they introduced cocaine to my artist. So once they got on cocaine, once they got on drugs, once they got on alcohol, and that's when the weird stuff happened. And I think that's what took Puffy down that lane. Then you got to remember, Clyde Davis, Russell Simmons, Andre Arell.
Simon, come
You
on.
better believe it. Alcohol, drugs. He compromised his manhood. Because he was taught that. He got Usher as a kid. They never recorded no songs, but alcohol, drugs,
Simon.
sex. Justin Bieber. And see, they do these things to take control. They're not doing, there's nothing wrong with being gay. If you choose to be gay, that's your preference. But they doing this to people for control. It's a power situation.
Okay, a couple of things when he talked about, and this is for the video is for commentary, news and commentary and critique only. So I hope I don't get a copyright strike. But he mentioned that he implied there was sex trafficking going on at Interscope as well. He implied that there was a gentleman. He says directly there was a gentleman whose job was to get underage girls for the employees of Interscope and certain artists involved with Interscope for sex trafficking. To have sex with. So he outed Interscope. Suge has had, and Death Row had a previous relationship with Interscope. I'm not sure if the relationship ended amicably, but he seemed to have outed Interscope, so we'll see where that goes. He also talked about Diddy was formerly involved with the FBI, or may be involved with the FBI. He said that former President Barack Obama pardoned one of Diddy's former business partners. Who knew that? He said that there may have been some relationship. He definitely mentioned that there may have been dealings between Diddy and Usher and Justin Bieber. He also mentioned that implied there could have been a relationship between Diddy, Clive Davis, Andre Harrell, and Russell Simmons. And he also said that these relationships, which could be sexual in nature, were designed to control the artist or control certain individuals, which seems to be some of the allegations made by the racketeering charge against Mr. Combs from the New York Attorney's Office. So he seems to confirm some things already mentioned. Seems to have confirmed some of the allegations against Diddy. He also divulged some things about Interscope that we didn't know. So we'll see where that goes. But for someone who's behind bars, Suge Knight sure has a lot to say. And Chris Cuomo got it all. And I'm sure that it can help the ratings for his new show at News Nation. But Suge Knight is someone who has dealings with the record industry and the music industry at the highest level. So when he speaks, people tend to listen. So that's Trump and the GE. That's Suge Knight, out Diddy Combs, Interscope Records. Thank you.